What's up, guys? Welcome to part 2 of the beginner's guide to get in shape. This is going to cover the diet. Oh boy, let's get into this one. So guys, maybe you should probably just eat air, because that's honestly what's probably healthy for you these days. It seems like both sides can be right in the argument of should I eat all meat or all plants or something in the middle. Who knows? Should I eat just fruits? Fruitarians, but they typically look like they're starving and they're very weak and not healthy. Potentially. Guys, you got to do your research is what I'm trying to say. Find out what works for you. That's kind of a blanket statement in the way of me not wanting to trigger people, but in reality, what is true is that animal foods tend to be the most beneficial. I'm just the messenger. They tend to support good health. There's nutrients that are found in meat that cannot be found in plants, but vice versa is not true. With that said, I'm not going to dive into what those nutrients are, but what I will say is look at somebody that typically eats only plants versus only meat. They tend to be healthier, the ones that eat meat. And also, when you go on a vegan diet, you tend to have to supplement very rigorously, and you have to do your research to know what you need to supplement. So you should probably not be eating just plants. But anyways, guys, don't try to be a freak overnight. Start slow. Start with where you're at. That's kind of the whole theme of everything that I do is start where you're at, improve, and be consistent. Never give up. Don't worry about what other people are saying and thinking about you and about their own lives. Focus on you. Focus on your life. Try to be 90% on, 10% off. Try to be almost perfect is what I like to call it. So guys, a good example of an extreme version of this is basically if you're allergic to peanut butter or whatever, you could be like, peanut butter is the worst thing in the world. It causes you reactions, causes you inflammation, causes you gut issues. But I could be like, no, peanut butter is great because I don't have any reactions to it. I'm not allergic to it. So you got to find out what works for you as an individual. All right, so concept 1, how many calories? Hope you guys are enjoying this concept breakdown because honestly, it's not something that I've ever done before, but it just breaks down ideas that I've learned throughout the course of my life that I hopefully can pass along to you guys. So basically, you want to use a calculator, guys, and you'll have to input like your stats, like your gender, your weight, your height, your activity level, and this is very relative, and it's also relative to your metabolism. What you want to do is get that number, and since you're a beginner, guys, you're going to be recompositioning once you start lifting and eating healthier. So you're going to be both losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, and you do not need to worry about the calories so much because you're probably finally eating enough to put on muscle or finally eating less to lose fat. It depends where your starting point is. So eat this diet, guys, for like 2 weeks. Weigh yourself like a couple of times a week and take the average, because based on when you weigh yourself, if you're more hydrated, less hydrated, when you've had your last meal, how many calories you've had in your last meal, your weigh-ins can be kind of like misleading. So if you take the average and you just kind of notice where your body's going, it might not change much in weight because you're also losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. Guys, even these ideas can be used if you're intermediate, and then you would kind of lean whichever way you want to go. So if you want to cut or bulk, that's more of an intermediate kind of thing. You would add or decrease calories respectively in terms of like gaining or losing weight. So do this for I would suggest honestly, if you're a beginner, 6 months, because like I said, you're recompositioning, you're finally eating enough or not eating too much. So you want to focus on just eating better foods and just being more consistent, because in this 6 months period, your body is going to change quite a bit. And then you can decide what you want to do from there. Then what you want to kind of do is have yourself, have that 10% off where you want to do that cheat meal. And this can be weekly, guys. I suggest a cheat meal, not a cheat day. A cheat day can set you back quite a bit, and it builds a bad habit of binging. You need to learn to be more consistent with your calories and learn to moderate your cheat meals. All right, so what should you eat? As a general overview, guys, what you want to do is consume about 0.8 to a gram, 0.8 grams or a gram per pound of body weight. If you're a little bit more overweight, a little bit less than that because you've got a lot of fat and it's not true muscle mass that you need to support. You want to get good healthy carb sources, starches such as potatoes, rice, whatever. I personally am eating fruit and honey because it's just an experiment to get rid of my psoriasis. Then you want to eat animal fats and omega-3 rich fatty foods. Omega-3 rich fatty foods coming from things like avocado and salmon. Animal fats will raise your cholesterol, but if you're insulin sensitive, and this is something that I'm going to talk about in a next video about a discussion on cholesterol, is it good or bad for you? If you're insulin sensitive, then guys, it's not a big deal to consume high cholesterol or to have a high cholesterol amount in your blood, because there's so many different markers with cholesterol, so you need to know the difference, but that's not for this video. Basically, you want to eat consistently, focus on your food quality and your food choices, eat whole on unprocessed foods, and have a break, for goodness sake, here and there. Have a cheat meal, moderate your cheat meal. And if you find on your week, when it's a Tuesday, a random Tuesday, you're supposed to be on your diet Monday to Friday, and you go slightly over your calories, do not say, screw it, I've went over my calories, so I might as well binge. Accept that you went a little bit over and just move on. The whole idea is to be consistent with the calories and learn how to moderate and not binge. Binging can be so detrimental, and undereating can be very detrimental depending on the person. I find typically I'm a binger. I'm not like an undereater. So that's something that I've worked to get rid of, and I've basically gotten rid of it, and it feels so darn good to finally get rid of that eating disorder. Guys, it sounds low-key lame to say, oh, I'm focused on my gut health, but if you think about it, everything that you eat goes into your gut, needs to be digested, absorbed, and every cell in your body is fed through your gut. It's lame. It sounds like an old woman's phrase of, oh, my gut health, but you're going to have to start thinking about it eventually, so you might as well start thinking about it now. How often should you eat? Should you intermittent fast? No, you don't have to. Whatever works for your schedule. I suggest to spread out your meals, but eat a little bit less for dinner. However, if you feel like you are most likely to get derailed at night, you can save more calories for your dinner, but try to have your dinner like 2 hours before bedtime at least, because eating too much food and having to focus on digestion close to bedtime is going to like affect your sleep, or maybe it doesn't affect your sleep as much. So you got to figure out what works for you. Guys, my treat kind of throughout the week is having like a sweet coffee that really curbs my cravings. It's not technically like my unprocessed animal-based diet because it's using artificial sweeteners. However, I'm going to switch some of that artificial sweetener to like a actually unprocessed sugar, but you're still going to get some of that artificial sweetener because I use protein powder in my coffee to flavor it. It's super sweet, but I'm doing so much better than I was before. I'm eating way healthier. Having this one little sweet treat is so much better than me eating ice cream and fitting it into my macros during the week. It's so much better. So again, you're trying to do 90% good, 10% quote unquote not so good. Eventually, you might even get to 100% good for periods of time. But the whole idea, guys, is to be the best that you can be, but not to overthink this. Do not overthink this. For the most part, I stick to my calories during the week. If I go over a little bit here and there, whether it's with healthy food or unhealthy food, then that's okay. But I don't binge, and I try to have a higher calorie day once a week or once every 2 weeks where I eat healthier food. And then for celebrations, that's when I will have something like birthday cake, pizza, stuff that's not healthy and that's processed, because it's all about balance. All right, guys, wrapping up. Don't overthink this. It's easy to get overwhelmed. Meal prepping is a good idea. You can actually eat cheaper when you meal prep. It doesn't have to be expensive to eat healthy. You don't have to get grass-fed, organic, everything. Just do better than you were doing before. Make changes slowly and work on not binging. You want to be consistent during the week. If you go over, don't binge. Have cheat meals and treats. Don't go crazy with them, and just try to do better than you were doing before. It's literally that simple. Eat in moderation for the most part. If you mess up, don't go crazy, and schedule in cheats for celebrations where you can actually enjoy some tasty pizza, some mozzarella sticks, some fried foods, whatever, and moderate how much you eat of it. Guys, in 6 months, you might not even recognize yourself, like how impressive you look, obviously not in a negative way. So give this a try, guys. I hope this video helped you guys out. I'll see you in part 3 for the exercise routine. And if you didn't catch part 1, it covers the mental prep. Please don't skip that. It's the foundation for the diet and the exercise. We will continue with the series, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next part. Peace.